All right. So I said I was going to post another video here. This one is titled "It's Not Working." So just to recap, what this channel is. So this channel is for parents who want to be better parents for school age children. Meaning, maybe things aren't going as well as you had hoped this school year. Right now, with recording this video, it's about halfway through the school year. United States, pretty much anywhere you live, you're close to the 100th day, if not closely coming upon, and it's usually around Valentine's Day. But it's not working. It's been a rough year. You wish you could move your child out of the classroom. What could you do? So these are some tips and things, and if anything, things you can do for next year. So you're ahead of the game instead of trying to play catch up. Um, the first thing you do, I'm not sure if you've done it, but if you're just complaining at home, complaining to all your friends, and saying things in front of the child, obviously that's not helping. But that's unfortunately what the reality of what a lot of parents do. And so, again, if you're on this channel, you may be a recovering parents like that. The name Bridezilla, well, Parentzilla, I guess. Maybe you're a recovering parent and you're like, you know what can I do? Maybe I need to be a little bit open minded. Then this is for you. So, first thing, go to the teacher first. That is a huge mistake. And I've taught for over 20 years. And um, in a few different districts, different economic status, social economic status of those districts, whatever. But overall, you have some really hard nosed principals that will tell you, you go to them, did you go to the teacher first? And I really appreciate, as a teacher, having the principals who say that, because it's true. Sometimes parents, they're so, upset, hurt their one side, their kids crying and emotional and all these different things, haven't heard or anything, or just emailing back and forth. No, they don't go to the child's teacher first. They jump straight to the principal, or straight to the board, or straight to the superintendent's office, and they don't even make the first step. So, some of the best principals I've known will tell parents that. Did you talk with your child's teacher? Say, yes, I talked to my child's teacher, and it's not working, and they're not listening, and I don't like that teacher, and you know, first of all, keep in mind, and I've said this before, the way your child behaves at home is not necessarily, most likely not, the same way they behave at school. Children usually behave either better or worse than the way they behave at home. So, what you see at home may not be what the teacher and the staff are seeing. Um, so, when you schedule a time to talk in person, would be better, not just a bunch of emails flying back and forth. As I say, hiding behind an email, hiding behind social media in your area. That's another horrible, big no no. Parents need to stop doing it. They really do. Um, Now, with the latest, parents are taking their complaints to their local social media, Facebook parent page, and want to tell the teacher a thing or two. Well, it's not the smartest thing to do, because you know what? A lot of teachers are also parents, and they tell each other. So, do you think you're setting your child up for the best relationships, for the best reputation walking in, even middle school, high school, whatever, when you're bashing teachers online? I mean, that's a huge difference from teaching almost 20 years ago to now. Before, parents really didn't have the choice. They had to go in and talk to the teacher face to face because emails really, they didn't really have the email address to the teacher. You were forced to actually do face to face real conversation in real time with the child's teacher. And now parents are able to hide behind an email or able to hide, behind the social media post. And it's, I don't know. I have more thoughts on that. I'll save that for another time. But go to the child's teacher in person. Take a few days. Don't set up, I need to talk to you today. Take a day or two. Cool down. Sometimes if you're one of those parents, maybe you're a recovering parent, right? A recovering, my child is perfect parent. A lot of times, if you wait, you cool down, sometimes you'll find the story has changed what your child tells you, or different details that are really important pop up. And you can save some embarrassment by just cooling down, getting all the information, and then going into the conversation, into that meeting with that teacher with an open mind, listening ears, knowing your child is not perfect. And if you say that from the beginning, look, I know my child is not perfect, and thank you for what you do. If you start off the conversation or the meeting that way, that will help. 9 times out of 10, most teachers, but okay, good. Even if your child is a little tornado, is a hot mess, you can't deal with them at home. You can't. And you're so relieved when they go to school because someone else asked them. If your child is really like that, and you say, I know my child, it's challenging. I know. And thank you. Thank you for doing the best you do. You're having to teach over 20 kids in a class, or 16 kids, or whatever, all different learning, all different behavior styles. And my child is acting this way. Thank you. Just thank you. Now, what can I do? That comes to the second thing. Ask, what can I do to help? What are you seeing? Instead of, well, my child told me that this student did this and this student did. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Because sometimes they make it up. I always like to tell parents, one thing I would say in a parent teacher conference sometimes, I say, I won't believe everything your child says happens at home if you don't believe everything your child says happens at school. Because they be coming up with some stories, let me tell you. So, so listen to, disclaimer first, especially if now, if your child is not like that, your child's usually the quiet child. This is just they're, truly being bullied, which that's a whole nother topic. There is true bullying, and then sometimes it's not. And I've literally seen where the bully has convinced the parents that they're being bullied, and they're not. They're the bully. But that's a whole nother topic. So listen, maybe apologize if you or maybe just say, acknowledge instead of apologize, but acknowledge, say, you know what, I know my child can be difficult or is challenging or, whatever. Acknowledge it. Just keep it real. People will appreciate it. Teachers will a lot more than, acting like your child is the perfect angel, which we know that does not exist. So once you listen, take the advice, do it. Don't just listen with sarcasm or whatever, or smart remarks. Actually do it. Go home and try the things. If you come up with the plan, a lot of times some good things are, okay, what are some rewards your child is working towards at home? Okay, well, in the class, if the child gets so many smiley faces or tokens or good bucks or reward bucks or whatever it is that you're deciding on with the parent, have that correlate with what's going on at home. Okay, I can email you, let you know this would be the teacher, let you know how they did today, or whatever. However you decide to work, come up with a plan together. Take the advice, be positive. Try your best not to be negative, even if it didn't go as you had hoped. Maybe the meeting didn't really go as planned. Keep the thoughts to yourself. Wait till your child is doing something else, playing outside. Hopefully, they play outside. Um, in the room, you're on a different side of the house or something. And then if you need to talk to another adult about it and you want to vent or whatever, try not to be in earshot where your child can hear what you're saying about the teacher, and being positive. Then after you've had a meeting with the teacher, classroom teacher, this is of course towards elementary. If it's still not working, then set up maybe a meeting, request a meeting with the principal, the teacher, yourself. Um, I have seen where parents insisted that their child, who's not even 10, be in these adult meetings. There's a time and place. And most of the time, children they're just trying to figure out what school is, how it is. It's not their place to be setting the rules, calling all the shots. They need guidance. That's usually why those parents, that kind of parent, is in the principal's office, because the kids run the house. They're in charge of everything. A 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, even 8, 10-year-old. And a lot of times those parents end up in the principals because the child doesn't, they have too much choice, no boundaries, no restrictions, no consequences, nothing. So setting up a meeting with the, do not have the child there. Don't have the child there. Let them be a child. They're not the adult. You are. And don't be negative. Keep negative comments to yourself. Be receptive, listen, take the advice, do the advice. If the meeting is needed with the principal, fine. I would even say try maybe 2 meetings or a follow-up with the teacher. After you have that first initial meeting, you're listening, hey, this is what we're working on at home. This is the reward chart. Can you please let me know so that I can hold my child accountable at home for how they're behaving here at school? You're saying those kind of things and you're doing those kind of things. You might need to follow up with the classroom teacher again without even, the principal shouldn't be involved until it's like really bad. Like the teacher's not making an effort to work with you, doesn't want to meet, all of those. When A, B, C, D did not happen, then yes, I guess then jump to principal. But I've never seen or heard as a parent or as a teacher that like rarely happens, very rare. And a building, in a whole school district, very rare, especially at the elementary age. Middle school, high school, different ballpark, whatever. But elementary, no, that usually doesn't happen. So unless if you, again, have been, aggressive in some kind of way or put off that you're just, that angry parent, then yeah, maybe the teacher's like, nope, we need to meet with the principal because you've already started off on the wrong foot. How to, if you're one of those recovering parents, well, how do I fix that? Sometimes being honest, saying, what, I started off the year really rough, and you're doing an amazing job with my child. You're having to learn 20 different little personalities with a lot of emotions and not a whole lot of self-regulation. You're doing a good job. And, I'd like to start off, again on a better foot. Here's a nice little token of my appreciation, something like that, or just a gift. If you can't say you're sorry, you can't utter those words, or even if you don't say I'm sorry, or just what, can we start the year again? I know it's halfway through the year, but hey, can we kind of start this again? That would go a long way, or even a little gift. Don't say just thank you for all you're doing. I know it's been a challenge with my child this year, but thank you. I think it's really interesting how a lot of, especially elementary aged parents, they have children who are out in elementary, how when they're in elementary, it's all these teachers' fault. They don't like this teacher, they don't like that, they don't like this parent, all these different things. It's always everybody else's fault. But I've seen it, and I know some of my other colleagues have seen this, where there's those same kids when they get to middle school and high school, that doesn't fly. Those are the same kids that first two. I was just talking with a coworker the other day, and a very challenging student that the parents did not deal with the behaviors. Come middle school, she told me that that student was kicked out within 2 weeks of the middle school. What kind of parent do you want to be? That's what we're talking about here. All right. The dog's barking. Someone log off. Good night.